Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, Candice Owen, hmm, I am sure she's going through it. And I wish her the best, Australian, and I think she has a talk show coming up in November in Australia. And you all already know Candice Owen, how she talks, blah, blah, blah. But now there is something that I want to say. It is always okay for that woman to speak anything about Black people and do not get nobody calls her to order. Nothing happens to her. But immediately she speaks up against other people and Islam's LGBTQ plus and all that. She lands herself in problem, right? You all remember what happened where she walked before. She walked to a Jewish man that immediately sacked her because she refused to. I mean, like she deviated from her job. Her job is always to call Black people out every now and then. The day she decided to call them out, she lost her job. And now she has a show coming up, and the money is like a whole lot, right? You see what is going to happen? She's been banned. When I say banned, banned, that she cannot even go there to speak or do anything. Man, the ancestors be working overtime. Let's get into this video.
So Candace Owens, the far-right pro-Trump commentator, has just been banned from entering Australia and has had her visa taken away due to her latest controversial and highly offensive remarks that she has made repeatedly on her social media platforms. Here's what Tony Burke, the immigration minister of Australia, told the Sydney Morning Herald as to why Candace Owens can no longer travel to Australia, even though she has an upcoming tour in Australia. And it reads, quote, Candace Owens has the capacity to incite discord in almost every direction, ... Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. And then he goes on to comment about how Candace Owens better have a good refund policy for her tours, writing, quote, tickets to these events are selling for $100. I hope she has a good refunds policy, end quote. So there you have it. Candace Owens can no longer travel to Australia due to the lies that she has been spreading and amplifying on all of her social media platforms. Kudos to Australia. That's the correct decision. So Candace Owens, the far-right pro-Trump commentator, has just been banned from...
Ash! Is that you? Like, I think the last thing I would have expected is to see this man, like, in politics. Wow, that's actually, like, kind of crazy. Because, like, if you were to ask me, like, middle school me, I would have been like, no. But, like, yeah, like, I love that for him. Like, go off, Dash. Like, I see you.
So this is Candace Owens, and she is the queen of the Rocket Raccoons, Queen Kunisha herself. Now, imagine if you were Candace Owens, the queen of the Rocket Raccoons, and you were preparing for your upcoming tour in Australia, a country that is 90.2% white. That's right. Australia is extremely white. Now imagine that country rejecting your visa application and telling you, the queen of the Rocket Raccoons, the chief glizzy swallower herself, that you are not welcome in their country. You can't make this up. Oh, how the turntables turn, because the irony in this is just so rich, that the immigration minister of Australia, who is denying Candace Owens' visa, Tony Burke, says that Candace Owens has the capacity to incite discord in Australia. And Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. You can't make this up. Now, Candace Owens had scheduled a 5-day speaking tour of Australia. And the tickets were ranging from $95 for general admission, $295 for a VIP meet and greet, and $1,500 for private dinner with Candace Owens. So, is anyone else wondering if Candace Owens and her team has a good refund policy? A country that is 90.2% white banned the glizzy swallower of white supremacy. You can't make this up. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. May the ancestors judge her harshly. It seems like they got a head start. Y'all have the day you deserve. Peace.
So I woke up to the news this morning that the Australian government has cancelled Candace Owens' visa a few weeks before her Australian tour. The Sydney Morning Herald article reads, extremist US provocateur Candace Owens' Australian visa has been cancelled. Now, extremist is just a label they throw at anyone that goes against them, anyone that speaks the truth, anyone that calls out their propaganda is an extremist. I've been called an extremist many times. There's nothing new, it's just the current buzzword. As the Labor government warns that her attacks on Jewish, Muslim and trans people have the capacity to incite discord. Now, let me assure you, it has nothing to do with her comments about Muslim or trans people. Nothing. We all know why they've tried cancelling her. We all know why she's been given a hard time the past 12 months. We all know why her visa has been cancelled, and it has nothing to do with her comments about Muslim or trans people. There's only one reason for it. Now, there's a legal process that's about to be initiated, so I won't speak much further on it, but stay tuned.
So the Labor Immigration Minister, Tony Burke, a massive lefty, has just cancelled Candace Owens' visa. So her speaking tour of Australia is cancelled. On what grounds? Because according to Tony Burke, she poses a threat to Jews and Muslims in Australia. She has never once incited any violence. Who were the people in Australia chanting, "Where's the Jews? Gas the Jews, F the Jews, destroy Israel," teaching children to chant Intifada at Sydney University? Were they Candace Owens fans? Of course they weren't. They were radical lefties and extremist Muslims. Candace Owens fans pose no threat to Jews whatsoever. And as for her tour being a threat to Muslims, this basically means that anyone who criticizes Islamic immigration or Islam as a religion is no longer able to come into Australia. That's it. And so you have to ask yourself, how long is it going to be until criticism of Islam and criticism of Islamic immigration itself becomes criminalized in Australia? Australia is rapidly becoming a leftist totalitarian state where the only speech permitted is that which is authorized by politicians and technocrats. This didn't begin with COVID, but this went into hyperspeed with COVID, with the weaponization of the term misinformation, which was even used during the Voice debate. You had people during the Voice debate in Australia wanting to shut down opponents of the Voice, like me, because we were allegedly saying misinformation, even though all the misinformation that was out there was coming from the advocates of the Voice, those who said that the Voice has nothing to do with the treaty. That was a lie. Those who said 80% of Indigenous Australians support the Voice. That was a lie. Australians need to be rallying in favour of freedom of speech, and we need to hold every government account that starts weaponising the notion of misinformation. And first and foremost, we need to get this decision by the Labor Party overturned to allow Candace Owens to come into Australia. I don't agree with everything Candace Owens says. I really don't. But she absolutely should not be barred from coming into Australia to speak to Australians.
Psst, come here. You want to see what accountability looks like? Candace! Oh, Candy. Say it isn't true. Australia rejects visa application by right-wing U.S. pundit Candace Owens. They say that she has the propensity to spread discord wherever she goes. And they said, you can't bring that here. We're not having it. This is the first of many for MAGA. Get ready. Get used to it. I've been saying this. In the wake of this election, the first election with Trump, you chose change. We gave you a pass on that. This go around, we know who he clearly is. And that's what you're supporting. And no one around the world wants to be involved with it, Trump, or you.
Candace Owens just got banned from entering Australia and got her Australian visa application rejected ahead of a planned national speaking tour in Australia this November. This is because, according to the immigration minister, Tony Burke, Owens has the capacity to incite discord in almost every direction ahead of the planned November speaking tour. He went on to say that Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. Now, for context, this is what Candace Owens had to say about the Australian people in 2021.
Deploy troops to Australia. When do we invade Australia and free and oppress people who are suffering under a totalitarian regime? When do we spend trillions of dollars to spread democracy in Australia? Australia currently, make no mistake, is a tyrannical police state. Its citizens are quite literally being imprisoned against their will. So when do we deploy?
Yeah, so apparently she was suggesting that Australia be invaded. Candace has scheduled a 5-day speaking tour of Australia in November with tickets ranging from $95 for general admission, $295 for a VIP meet and greet, and $1,500 for a private dinner with Candace Owens. Let's hope she got a good refund policy.
Australia has just banned Candace Owens from entering the country, and here's why the consequence of your action has long-term effects in regards to how you enter certain countries. Specifically, if you vested your whole body and platform speaking down on marginalized communities and pushing hateful rhetorics, that itself incites hatred towards a group of people. Australia as a country has every right to refuse someone that might use specific languages and speech to incite hateful rhetorics against other people. Candace Owens is famously known for views around how she completely dismissed the experience of marginalized communities, and she's not only once but countless of times post, homophobic, racist, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, you name it. And there's so many people that support what she says. Because what's important to note is Australia has strict rules in regards to denying people, specifically that comes from certain countries that have had history of inciting hatred and specific narrative against marginalized communities. And it's important to note that Australia has the power to refuse entry from specific people if they feel that these people are going to come into the country and participating in further dividing the country and inciting more hatred and hateful rhetoric. Should countries restrict entry based on someone's views? And where's the line between free speech and protecting the community from harm? And I think that is the real question in regards to if Candace Owens was banned, why was she banned? And is her ban something that is warranted for?
Candace Owens banned from entering Australia. Why has Australia barred an American commentator from entering its borders? Here's the tea. Candace Owens is too controversial for a place like Australia. Her political commentary has been denied entry into the country. The decision was made by Australian Immigration Minister Tony Burke, who cited Owens' history of anti-Semitic remarks. Burke stated that her presence could incite discord and that Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. Jewish groups, including the Anti-Defamation Commission, lobbied for the visa cancellation, calling it a victory for truth. They argue that Owens' downplaying of the Holocaust and inflammatory remarks about Jewish figures like Joseph Mengele and Sigmund Freud pose a significant threat. However, the Australian Jewish Association expressed concern, arguing that the ban contradicts Jewish values of free speech. While disagreeing with Owens' views, they believe such bans could fuel conspiracy theories about Jewish control and power. This incident has sparked a debate on freedom of speech versus the potential harm of hate speech. Damn, OC, you gotta take this on the chin. Your conspiracy grift is not welcome in Australia.
Hey, how you doing? Baby, there's a word on these internet streets. You understand what I'm saying? I said there's a word on these internet streets. Australia done told Candace Owens for that up and coming summer she got scheduled to come over that way. Baby, take your visa and shove it. Access denied. You know, everybody willing to work deserves an opportunity to work, especially when it's honest. But not when your only objective is to deceive people, sow discord, whitewash history, and wreak havoc for your own personal gain. And it serves Australia right to reject the visa of the one and only Miss Provocateur Candace Owens from visiting with its immigration minister for the sake of maintaining cohesion, let alone sanity in this country, especially after she went down a rabbit hole trying to give Vice President Kamala Harris some new relatives other than the relatives that she told the American people about. So kudos to Australia for telling this Nat, no, and bad. Yeah, I said it. Nat, no, and bad. You won't be bringing that right-wing division over here and dropping it off at our doorstep. With your controversial, dangerous, and deceitful step. Yeah. Too bad we got to continue to put up with that worrisome priest that so many right-wing conservatives believe is a resourceful source to live in denial. I appreciate the Guardian for reporting this and letting us know, because it's amazing how Candace Owens' mouth is sour for everybody else's business, but not her own. Yeah, Candace. How about you didn't tell us that? Go on, report on it. Access denied, says Australia.
Here's an interesting one. Conservative talking head Candace Owens has been banned from entering the nation of Australia. Now, she has an upcoming, fairly lucrative tour, multi-city tour in the nation of Australia, but unfortunately for her, she has now been banned upon entry. The Minister of Immigration cited, Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. Now, they brought up some anti-Semitic comments she made and also said she has the capacity to incite discord. I believe some of her opinions on January 6th and the 2020 election is part of their reasoning as well. But what do you guys think? Candace Owens, Australia says no. What say you?
This is all I got from the video. And now let me say this. I've been saying this a lot, that some people cannot be picked no matter how hard you try. Some people really want to be this so bad that they forgot where they are coming from, right? Now, I love the fact, I hate the fact that it got to do with business and business went bad. This is like a business gone bad. You all know that. And I really do feel bad for her, right? But I hope she learned from this, because everything that happens to people is like in a teachable moment and a learnable whatever moment. All right, you can decide to learn, relearn, unlearn, and all that. That is if you are smart enough. If not, you continue to wallow in your ignorance, because you are still going to meet something like this. I've been saying this, and the reality has hit her. And like every other person, I hope she has a great reform policy. If not, that is the end of it. Every other person, it is okay to criticize Black people, right? She can do it as long as she can, with all her power, with all her will, with all her passion, You can criticize Black people. You can say anything about Black people and nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen to you. But one thing about other people, repercussion here and there. She has been on it. She has been on the road. And I hope this is how they will keep catching them, because there are still a lot of them. Some even want to surpass Candace Owens, especially some men. But I keep telling them, how do you think they will pick you? You think they are not scared of you, or you think they do not fear that tomorrow you might wake up and pack away and run away with it? Like, they already fear Black men. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Let alone the ones that decided to be cool, thinking that they are going to pick them, right? and they are still out there cooning. They might try to consider Candace Owens because she's a woman and she does not pose a lot of threats too, right? But not some men. But now you all can see where she has landed herself. I don't know how to say this. That woman works with a Jewish company. And the day she all her life, all her show is all about criticizing Black people, her own community. And it was okay with them. They loved it. They enjoyed it while it lasted. Not until she spoke against what was going on about Jews and all that. Then she became a bad person. Like, I am not saying she's a good person, right? But automatically she is out of order because that is not what they told her to do. I mean, you are supposed to criticize your people, leave us alone, because she was working with a Jewish man, right? And that was how she lost her job. When she lost her job, she thought that she was going to come back straight up to Black community because she was also looking for a way to build her platform. So the best she could do was to run back to Black people, thinking Black people were just going to open arms and welcome Candace Owens. She's sorry. And I love it. I love it. Black people all came together and said, no, continue from where. And she was like, oh, who told you people that I never, like, whoever told my people that I never loved them and all that? You all know that she was lying. And she was looking for a way to build her community up, get a community and build her community again. And she wanted to build it off Black platform so she can continue to wallow in her ignorance. Now, sometimes some of the things we do, some say there is no karma, sincerely speaking, except you are just it happens. And this one already caught her. I mean, you can see how much she is charging. So they so she can go there and do what she knows how to do best. But this one caught her up. Aren't our ancestors doing, oh, they are really working overtime at the same time. I do not love it for her, but it's also a lesson for her and some other people. I hope you all do not continue to open your stupid mouth up and down and say whatever comes to your mouth with your mind without thinking of it, because it looks like some of you swallow, eat with your butts, not with your mouth, or think with your butts, not with your brain. See you all in my next video. Shout out to her. Good luck to her. She's going to recover. Of course she will. Bye for now.